everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you every day to do it. Yes, go in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, that beast, that algorithm. Oh, it's dragging me. It's dragging me, y'all. And right about here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so appreciative, so happy for your support. Also, if you just want to do a one time donation, our super thanks button is right over there. And all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, with all that said, y'all, let's get to the read. Let's get to the read because, of course, we have a lot as usual. And when I am putting the read together, I jump in these internet streets, and that's exactly where I was most of the day. I was up and down and all around in these internet streets. I was over to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is coming along great. So many more squatties are coming on over, and I'm happy about it. I am. And I found a lot of good stuff on Blue Sky, and I'm gonna share some of it with you. And the squatties are all over the place. They dragging Camilla, and they're all over the place, and they excited about some upcoming events for Harry and Meghan. So that's what's going on over to Blue Sky. Also, I made my way to TikTok. Didn't stay over there very long. Didn't have the time because I had to look for some articles and I had other things I wanted to do. So I think I saw one or two posts over there, mostly talking about Camilla. Yeah, they still, well, no, nobody likes her. But I digress. And then I went over to Instagram. The squatters on Instagram are all over the place talking about Camilla, talking about just about any topic you most want to imagine about Harry and Meghan, but that is the nature of the beast of Instagram. Then I made my way over to X, formerly known as Twitter, and the squatties over there are still dragging Camilla, talking about the documentary, and it is mixed reviews, I must say. Some squatties are saying that it hits the right tone in some areas of the documentary. Then other squatties are saying that it was totally and absolutely whitewashed and it had Angela Levin and all those other flying monkeys in it, and that just absolutely just didn't sit right with them. And then I had some squatties was saying that they didn't want to see it at all because it was coming from the British media and nothing good comes from them. And I must say, all three of them have good points. I don't know. But my guess I would have to say is anything, even when it's not 100%, anything that puts out the narrative of just showing Camilla Parker Bowles for what she is and what she did to Harry. And the clips that I have saw, they did say that. They showed some of the stuff that Camilla and Charles, uh, you know, and that Bowen, I think his name Bolin, that guy, they PR guy, what they did to that little boy. And I have saw some people who are not squatties on social media, and it's not sitting right with them either because they're remembering the feelings that they had when Diana was taken away from Harry and William. And all those feelings kind of came up watching what Charles and Camilla did. So I think it's never going to be 100% beneficial, coming from the British media, but I'll take 50%. Anything to showcase what they have over there for a queen, what they call queen, what they are bowing to. Is just a woman who has pretty much slept her way horizontally, have never done anything beneficial to society. All she ever has done is something beneficial to herself. And so I say Sometimes 50% is a win. And so I'll just take it like that. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. But I think that because a lot of people don't know all the snake stuff that Camilla has done. And to some people who are watching that documentary, that's the first time they have ever really found this out. They didn't buy Spare and they just believe whatever the tabloids say. But now the tabloids, some of the tabloids, the flying monkeys, are telling them what Harry said in Spare is absolutely what happened. And maybe they'll have a better understanding of who they're dealing with when they're dealing with Camilla and Charles. They want to try to gaslight us into believing that that whole institution over there is popular. And they got a new poll out too, and we're going to talk about that later. But the poll on the streets, the poll where you put out the barriers, tell us that they're not that popular. And if I had to go with one that the flying monkeys make up, a poll that the flying monkeys make up, or a street poll, I go with the street poll every time. Because street poll, the barrier polls tell us that they're not popular at all. People do not want to stand behind those barriers. And that says to me that they're not popular. I'm just saying. All right, but let's get into this read. And I want to put this up because we have news about Harry and Meghan and what they're going to be up to on December the 4th. I found this in People, and it says Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to appear at separate events on opposite coasts next week. Yes, both of them are going to have something to do. Both of them are going to have events. It says Prince Harry is taking a page out of his wife's book for the December 4th appearance in New York City while Meghan remains in LA. It says the Duke of Sussex 40 will join Andrew Ross Sorkin for a conversation at the New York Times Deal Book Conference on Wednesday, December the 4th. In New York City, according to a spokesperson. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the Duchess of Sussex, 43, is expected to attend the 2024 Paley Honors Fall Gala the same day, where she'll help honor Tyler Perry with the Paley Honors Award, which is the Paley Center for Media highest honor. While both Harry and Meghan were on the hosting committee for their friend Perry, only Meghan will attend the event. It said in his appearance alongside Sorkin, Harry is actually following Meghan's footsteps, meaning that y'all remember when Meghan did this same event and she was on the panel with Melanie Hopkins, her mentor, and I remember that so well. I'm gonna put a picture of it up here. And what is his name again? Andrew Ross Sorkin. He was just so beside it with Megan. You could see him. He was just so beside it with her. And it was so cute to watch. I mean, he was just hanging on every word she said. And of course, every word she said was intelligent. And she was so intelligent and so what is the word I'm looking for? She definitely knew what she was talking about. She had studied up on what the subject was. I'm telling you, and it was really, really good to watch. And so that's what Harry is going to be doing. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular Swati posted this. It says Prince Harry on the New York Times lineup for the 2024 Deal Book Summit on December 4th. Each year, we bring together a collection of the most consequential leaders at the intersection of business, policy, and culture who are impacting society, said Sorkin. I love it. I love it. Did you hear that? They consider Harry a consequential leader at the intersection of business, policy, and culture. I love it. And you know the reason I love it? Every time something like this happens for Harry, it just reinforced the fact that those people over there try to stifle his growth, try to call him stupid, try to call him dense, thick. These are all the adjectives that they use for Harry. I saw not long ago on a panel where one of these flying monkeys was talking about Harry, saying that Harold Markle is so thick and he flies around in Apache helicopters. And to me, that within itself is a stupid statement. It's a contradicting statement, because how many stupid people you know fly the most complicated uh military equipment that it is, the Apache helicopter. You can't be stupid and fly an Apache helicopter, and they know that. And I bet they would not be able to do that, but yet and still they always try to denigrate Harry in some way, and Harry keeps proving them wrong. You know, it's a saying, and it's a religious saying. I think it goes something like, a prophet is never appreciated or recognized in his own country. And I think that's true for Harry. Harry was never recognized as this consequential leader in his own country, but yet he came to America and people see all of his attributes, all of his accolades, and understand that look at Harry's accolades. You can't be stupid and create out of whole cloth Travelers, who has a combined value of over $3 trillion within 5 years. I have a partnership value of over $3 trillion. You can't do that and be stupid. You can't create the Invictus games and be stupid. But yet and still they still want to try to play that card. Still try to use that as a way of tearing him down and diminishing his accomplishments. I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna put this up and look at all the people that Harry is going to be with. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Harry is going to be able to hold his own with each and every one of them. I found this on Blue Sky, and it says Prince Harry will join global leaders in New York on December the 4th at the Deal Book Summit to discuss impactful societal change. And Harry's going to hold his own, because Harry is a very bright individual. They have tried to make him out a dummy, but it just can't seem to square that round hole. They can't seem to put that square peg in the round hole, because Harry is a very bright individual, and that's why. I'm going to put this up. It says Prince Harry will join global leaders at the intersection of business, policy, and culture in New York on December 4th at the Deal Book Summit to discuss impactful society change, including Jeff Bezos, Bill Clinton, and Serena Williams. Also, the CEO of Google is going to be there. So I don't think that a dummy could be able to hold their own with this kind of powerhouse panel. But watch Harry do so. He will absolutely do so. And I just love it for them over across the pond, where Harry, time after time after time, proved them to be the liars that they are. And of course, after this comes out, what does the flying monkeys do? What do they do best? What is their game plan time and time again? And that is to attack, attack, attack. And anybody who associate with Harry and Meghan. All they do is attack, attack, attack. Of course, anytime things are going good for Harry and Meghan, they minding their business, just going on with their lives. William over there with his dried up, bitter, bitter self. I mean, he's slowly disappearing, and this is the reason why. His jealousy, his continued jealousy and pursuit of trying to always put a stick in the spokes of his brother's life. And he has gone over there to Tom Sykes, and Tom Sykes, of course, writes an article trying to tear down Harry and Meghan. And this time, his focus is the Polo, their Polo series. That's what Tom Sykes is taking time out of his life writing about Harry and Meghan. That's what I want to know. Why is he consistently writing about Harry and Meghan? Because he has an assignment. He been assigned. And this particular squatty said this: Y'all, I was just about to tweet asking what the media would push with Harry and Meghan to deflect from the wicked stepmother, and then I saw this. Remember, TBM creates the news. And basically, this is the Daily Beast taking shots at Meghan and Harry's Polo series because evidently they ain't got nothing better to do. Tom Sykes didn't have anything better to do. And I just don't understand it. And I really feel like this is nothing but William. Every time Harry and Meghan are minding their business and being successful and thriving, he just cannot stand it. What if Harry and Meghan put in as much energy as William and his flying monkeys put in on trying to sabotage Harry and Meghan? If Harry and Meghan put in that much energy to try to sabotage him and Kate. But really, they don't even have to bother because William and Kate sabotage themselves. They are self sabotaging. So Harry and Meghan don't even have to put in the work. But boy, do they be putting in the work over there. I'm just saying. And it says the Daily Beast, Harry and Meghan face a barrage of ridicule over their new Netflix show. Where is that barrage of ridicule coming from? Over across the pond from William and his minions. That's where it's coming from. Because far as I'm concerned, I hadn't heard anybody over on this side of the pond say anything except they're excited to see it. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up, and it said, oh, so now the people who were drooling while watching photos of William during polo and calling him manly are now saying it's a torture for animals and out of touch since Harry and Meghan's documentary trailer was released. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All of a sudden, things are different. Anything that Harry and Meghan tries or highlights or get involved with, and William and Kate could have done it for years and years and years, but all of a sudden it becomes something bad. They flip the script. It's always negative, negative, negative. And I'm going to put this up, and this is what Tom Sykes wrote in the Daily Beast. It said Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tacky polo show derided by friends and executives. Where is that at? And if they your friends, would they be doing this? Those are William's friends. And probably not even William's friends, William. I'm just saying. It says it's hilarious, but not in a good way. I didn't see nothing hilarious about it. I watched the trailer and all it said to me was, you need to watch more. It was a great trailer. But we all know a hit dog will holler. And they know it was a good trailer. And they scared it's going to be a success. And far as I'm concerned, as a squatty, I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. for William so he can take to his bed and roll around and just get in the fetal position and cry himself to sleep after finding out that it's one of the most watched documentary on Netflix. I'm just saying. It's hilarious, but not in a good way. Former friends of Prince Harry who played polo with him in their younger years have told the Daily Beast they have been left in appalling hysterics. It's ridiculous. Talking about by the new trailer from him and Meghan Markle's tacky new Netflix show about polo. One Hollywood executive, wonder who that was, has cautioned the couple are running out of last chances to prove that they make appealing television that is not about themselves and speculated that their futures may lie in social media influencing. These people. The trailer for Polo dropped this week and has been either ignored or ridiculed in the global media. What? 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 Oh my goodness. A clear sign that Harry and Meghan once bright star appears to be fading. What did they want people to do with a trailer? Everywhere I looked, they were making TikToks about it. People was talking about it. It was social media was on fire about it. And all kinds of articles was written about it. What did they want them to do? Have a Macy Thanksgiving parade about it? What did they want? I don't understand. It's a television series. It's a trailer that dropped. It's ridiculous. I'm just saying. It says, although their roles as executive producers is flagged full screen in the opening credits, the cheesy trailer does not feature the appearance of either Harry or Meghan. Instead, the 3-minute clip features characters largely unknown outside of the closeted world of the elite sport. It's one particular hammy moment which seems designed to try to cash in on the narrative of royal discord. A young player said he will be playing against his father and said, I want to win against my dad. Tell me that's not a reach. Tell me that is not a reach. Tell me these people are not crazy. Tell me they are not sick completely in the head. That this particular clip, they want to associate this particular clip in this trailer of this young boy that plays against his father. His father is like a coach, and he said he wanted to win against his father. So they somehow, in that fevered brain of theirs, thought that that had something to do with Harry and Charles. These people are totally crazy. I don't see how Harry, thank God Harry got away from these people because they are completely certifiedly crazy. It's so crazy. It's that one former friend, a former, and it's a reason why he's former. And I bet you that's William. One former friend of Harry who played polo with him as a teenager said it's hilarious, but and he just mad because he ain't in it. I'm just saying. But not in a good way. It's so tacky and cringy. It is literally all the worst things about Polo. I watched it in an appalled hysterics. What is he talking about? Did he watch the same trailer that I saw? All I saw was men their boots up, and I saw polo action. I saw really beautiful people. What is the what? I don't understand what he's talking about. These people are crazy. These are crazy. It said another former friend said the irony is that polo is actually a surprising inclusive sport these days. You do see plenty of rich kids, but there are also plenty of kids from lesser rarefied backgrounds who just happen to be fantastic riders who are sponsored by teens. It doesn't look like this show is going to foreground that, which is real, which is which is a real missed opportunity. Now they got all that from that trailer, from a 3 minute trailer. This remind me of what they did with the trailer that was dropped from the Harry and Meghan documentary. I never saw so much analyzing and picking through of anything in my life. And it turns out everything that they assumed that it was about, it wasn't even about that. And that is the same way it's going to be about this particular Polo incident, this particular Polo trailer. It's the most ridiculous thing, I'm telling you. It says a senior Hollywood executive told the Daily Beast, this looks like a fail to capture the imagination. They still have Megan's cooking show to screen next year, but there is very little tolerance for pissing money away these days. It's debatable whether anyone cares about these two if they are not serving up outrageous stories about the royals. That's what they want them to do. They want them to continue on the same, harping on the same thing because that's what they're on. They can't get off of it. They cannot accept the fact that Harry and Meghan has moved on. They gone. They gone. And yet and still they are still behind talking about this nonsense, picking apart a 3 minute trailer, trying to make it into something about Harry and Charles when it has nothing to do with those people over there. Nothing Harry and Meghan has done this whole year and the year before that had anything to do with those people. When Harry spoke and said that him and his wife was going to move on, that's exactly what him and his wife has did. They have not said anything about those folks. They actually act as if they do not exist, that they disappeared off of the face of the earth. And that is the problem that they have. They want Harry and Meghan to continue to talk about them, to focus on them, to make them relevant over there. And Harry and Meghan has just served them up dust. And I love that for them. Go on with yourself with this nonsense. How can Harry and Meghan possibly travel the globe preaching about poverty and diversity and inclusiveness when not one black player can be spied? Oh, Lord. How can they lecture us about global warming when one player admits he flies to Argentina twice a week? Ooh, I tell you, this is so crazy. I have to laugh that they feel that Harry and Meghan are responsible for everything that has to do with this polo, these people's lives and everything else. I have never saw a couple that if they walk through a room, everybody in that room is their friends or somehow associated with them, and they have to take responsibilities for the action of everybody in that room. Man, that is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. These people are so jealous and so ate up with it. And that you can tell that comes straight out of Kensington Palace. They so jealous over there. They are so jealous of Harry and Meghan. They will not allow them to live. And Harry and Meghan just absolutely pays them dust and just pretend like they are invisible and do not exist. And I really think that that might be the problem with Kensington Palace. They like to be centered, they like to be focused on, and they want to say in some way that Harry and Meghan's success is on the back of that royal family. They would not be successful if it wasn't for that royal family. Harry and Meghan don't even acknowledge you. It's ridiculous. I'm just going to say that is the craziest thing I have ever heard of in my whole life. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and it says, "I can't wait for Polo on Netflix to come out. I find this funny," from the Daily Mail. And see what the Daily Mail has said down there. Prince Harry, well, Harry and Meghan's new reality show is so fake. How can the king's son put his name to such trash? And they came up with that with a 3 minute, 3 minute trailer dropped by Netflix. 3 minutes, and they absolutely trying to sabotage Harry's documentary, his no, his series, trying to absolutely sabotage it. But we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna blow it up. But this squatty said this: "I can't wait for Polo on Netflix to come out. I find this funny," from the Daily Mail. "They must have forgotten about It's a Royal Knockout that Edward had members of the royal family participating in." And I think they had to dress up in that medieval type garb, and it was it was absolutely embarrassing. But yet and still, Harry and Meghan cannot produce a show about polo. And I think Anne participated in it, Andrew participated in it. It was very undignified. And that's when Edwin and Sophie was trying to be producers, television producers, and embarrassing themselves with all of these horrible, horrible shows. But Polo is not going to be that. And I'll tell you another thing that is bothering them so much, and that is the fact that Harry and Meghan has moved on. They have moved on. They pay these people dust. I just read it about how they even try to find anything. I mean, and it be a reach to try to find anything to try to show that somehow Harry is trying to associate himself with them left behinds over there, because Harry is gone on about his business. He gone on. He's a global advocate now, and he is doing big things, and they cannot stand it. And he never says anything about Charles. He never say anything about William. He never absolutely says anything about anybody over there anymore. And Megan absolutely do not say nothing about him. And it is killing them. Because did you see in that Tom Sykes article I just read the reach that they had to go through to try to say that that was in some way some kind of comparison with that, with Harry's relationship with his father, out of this little 3 minute clip about a whole different father and son dynamic. But yet it's still trying to apply that to those left behinds over there, because Harry and Meghan are their only source of recognition, of shine. They want to try to associate Harry and Meghan with them so people will somehow, you know, focus on them because of Harry and Meghan, because they cannot get that kind of recognition, that kind of eyeballs without Harry and Meghan. And they try to, everything Harry and Meghan does, well, it has something to do with them over there. How can that have anything to do with them over there? I'm just saying. And everything Harry and Meghan is doing right now, people in that family has done it before. With, just like they were saying about this, about Edward, that Royal Knockout show. But Harry and Meghan is not in this. They're producers of it. And they had something to say about that. It's ridiculous. And all these former friends he's talking about, they former for a reason. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Y'all remember this. They want to talk about that too. When Harry called out, it's a Prince Harry called out for using an American accent. And you remember I featured this in my podcast yesterday. And say, because the Telegraph, the newspaper over across the pond, had actually enlisted a communications expert to try to analyze what words Harry was using that was Americanized. Yes, they did. They did that. But guess what? Now the Daily Fail has done the same thing. Tell me these people are not obsessed with Harry. I and it we are presently, we are presently a half a decade in, and they act like they're still butthurt to the point that Harry just left that place. I don't understand it. This squatty said this. The Mail Online went as far to find a speech expert from the University of Kent. We all know the Telegraph did the same thing. And it says Dr. Bailey, who gave several different reasons why the Duke has developed an American accent. Meanwhile, the commentator said he's getting too comfortable in America and Trump needs to step in. Have you ever heard anything like that before? And I'm going to tell you, when I read that, that hyped me up. I got really angry. Why do they get off acting like Harry belongs to them? And have they never heard of the fight or flight, instinct that people have in them? When you chase after them, their instinct is to run away from you. Harry is running away from these crazy people. It's ridiculous. It is the most ridiculous. And this whole thing talking about he's getting too comfortable in America and Trump needs to step in. What kind of crazy lunacy is that? Harry is a free human being. He can speak in the manner in which he wants to. And y'all remember yesterday in my podcast, I read that particular article that I just put up, and they were talking about how Harry absolutely has changed, and they were just really focusing on the fact of his home country. He didn't speak like the language of his home country. Harry hadn't forgot about his home. Harry still loves his home. It's this consistent and just never ending, relentless pursuit of him and his family that he cannot take. It's ridiculous. And this is them behaving when Harry and Meghan serves them up dust. I have just never saw anything before. I just have never saw anything like it before in my life. I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty, um, posted this and reminded us that it's been 1 year since Frog Exit. I guess they call it Frog Exit. You know, Charles taking Frogmore Cottage away from Harry and Meghan, their only UK home. It's been a year. And this squatty said this. A year ago today, King Charles announced that he had evicted his son, Prince Harry, his wife, Meghan, and their two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, from their UK home. It is still unclear whether Buckingham Palace has refunded the £2.4 million Harry and Meghan paid for it. I'm saying no. I don't bit no believe that they're going to give Harry and Meghan their money back. No, because it would show in their books. And we hadn't saw any kind of indication that they ever gave Harry and Meghan their money back, which is typical snaky behavior like Charles. Charles, that's something he would do. And so I'm not surprised. But it's been 1 year ago today that they announced that they were evicting Harry and Meghan from Frogmore. And Lily, and don't get it twisted, Lily and Archie too, because they always talking about Charles don't get to see his grandchildren. And I just did in my podcast yesterday about how they talking about uh, Harry and Meghan needs to stop keeping Archie and Lily away from William and Charles. Charles is keeping Archie and Lily away from them. Because if he cared anything for Archie and Lily, they would be at Frogmore. They would be at Balmoral. They would be on his lap. Archie and Lily is exactly where Charles wants them to be. And don't get it twisted no other way. Charles is a trash father. And why in the world would you think he would be anything but a trash grandfather? I know Camilla tries to say, oh, he's just so good to with my grandchildren. He's such a good step grandfather. I'm sure he is a good step grandfather, but he is a trash real grandfather. And we see that on full display. And he was a trash father. That has been proven through that documentary and through Spare. So, miss me, miss me. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And I found this article and I found it on Blue Sky, and it is about the lazy royals because they are, and I just found it interesting, so I'm gonna share it. It says the lazy royals, how Harry's exit exposed the monarchy's work-shy ways. It said for years the British royal family expected Harry to carry their weight. Where's the lie? Because if Harry wasn't carrying the majority of the weight for that family, why is it when he left, it has just on the brink of just falling completely down? Now, if the Queen was alive, it would be different. But when the Queen and Harry exited, I'm telling you, I have saw articles where they said that they hanging by a string. And one squatty posted on there that cut the string already. And I am in agreement with that. But let's go on. It said for years the British royal family expected Prince Harry to carry their weight, all while resenting him for being the most relatable and popular member of their gilded clan. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? It said now their reliance on him has been laid bare, and the result isn't pretty. The working royals narrative is crumbling fast, and their light schedules and lackluster efforts revealed a staggering level of laziness. Where is the lie? Harry was doing the yeoman's portion of the work that was in that family. The Queen was, and Harry. The Queen and Harry was the only one really working in that family. And Anne worked a lot, if you can call it work. But the Queen would show up, and she had hundreds of engagements a year. When she was feeling up to herself, when she was feeling really, really good, and when she wasn't sick, the Queen was showing up all the time. But not William and not Kate. Like I said, it was one year that Kate did not even make 100 engagements, and she wasn't sick. And their excuse was they had a young family. Stop it. And when the Queen passed away and Harry left, that place collapsed. Who would have knew that the fifth in line was holding that up? But he was. Let's be clear about something from the start. Royal work isn't exactly grueling. It's showing up at events, cutting ribbons, shaking hands, and smiling for the cameras. It's not slogging away on a building site or in a hospital ward. And yet, even these light duties seems too much for the remaining Windsors to handle without Harry. Where is the lie? Where is it? They can't show up at all. And Camilla do one or two events, and she has to fly to India to the spa. She's in India all the time at some spa over there because she done worked 2 weeks doing maybe 4 or 5 engagements, and she is just exhausted. Now, a lot of people is saying this. Now, this is the word on the curb, y'all. Y'all didn't hear it from me, but the word on the curb is that Camilla might be really sick. It said we might be surprised if Camilla don't go before Charles. Now that's the word on the curb. A lot of the squatties are discussing that because in this particular documentary, they talked about how she was a heavy smoker and a heavy drinker. And we all know that does not equal a long life and a healthy life either. Those are not habits that equal a healthy life. And she does seem like she just be exhausted when she does anything. I'm just saying. But that's the word on the curb. At least squatties are starting to talk about that and thinking it might be a possibility that she might be sicker than Charles. Who knew? All I can say is, I hate it for her. All right, let's go on. It said for years, Harry was the family's go to. He didn't just turn up for charity events, he actually cared. He poured his energy into causes like Invictus Games, mental health advocacy, and conservation efforts. He brought sincerity, enthusiasm, in everything he did, winning public admiration along the way. Meanwhile, the rest of the family seemed content to do the bare minimum, churning through a handful of engagements and calling it a week. Instead of appreciating Harry's effort, the royal family resented him. His popularity was a threat, his ability to connect with ordinary people, a reminder of how out of touch the other ones were. That this wasn't the first time a, a charismatic royal outshined the rest. Diana faced the same hostility, but instead of rising to the occasion, the family doubled down on their pettiness. And that's what they did with Megan. Double down on it. And that's the reason why they're hanging on a string and people want people to cut the string. Somebody cut it. Cut the string. It says since Harry's departure, the rot has only become more obvious. The royal family's workload has plummeted. That is true. I'm telling you, if William breaks 30 events, or I would say 40, I'm gonna guess 40. If he did 40 events this year, it will surprise me. Now, Anne is gonna probably be in the high 200s because we all know her. And Charles will probably be maybe break 100. But Camilla is not gonna break 100, and William is not gonna break 100, and Kate is not. And none of them. They are so lazy. They don't even want to get dressed to do a simple job like that. That is ridiculous. It says the royal workload has plummeted. Charles and Camilla's schedules are embarrassingly light for a couple who now sits at the helm of the firm. William and Kate, billed as the monarchy's greatest modernizers, seem to have confused being seen in public with actual effort. Kate engagements are sparse, often repetitive, and rarely amount to more than a photo opportunity. And let's not even start on Edward and Sophie and Anne supporting players in a show no one is watching. Now, where is the lie? Because what does Anne do? They always say Anne is the hardest working royal it is. But what has Anne done? Where is the projects that she has spearheaded? Where are the results? Anne does nothing but show up. That's it. She absolutely do not do any projects that shows any kind of results or improves anyone's life. And neither does Sophie, and neither do Edward. They just show up, shake your hand, cut the ribbon, pull the string, and go home. And how in the world is that helping anybody? I mean, it's not a results based effort. And this family doesn't have a results based effort. It does not. Nobody does anything for anybody. It's just ridiculous to me. And my whole thing is, so what? Anne is the hardest working royal. What kind of results does she have to show for all of that showing up? The truth is, without Harry, the royal family has no one to pick up the slack or bring genuine passion to their public roles. They've coasted for years on their titles and their taxpayer funded lives, relying on a few high profile events to give the illusion of purpose. But with Harry gone, it is clear that there is not much substance behind the pomp. My whole thing is Harry is the only one who has result based charity. He is the only one who has created anything. William, that earth flop centers around him. Now he created that, and Kitty Cat created the early childhood. But what good is that early childhood? What good is that? What good has it done any child that she has that particular charity, that particular what is it, that agenda? It hadn't helped anybody. All she has, only kind of results she ever came up with was those 5 questions. And I don't even think she had 5 answers to go along with the 5 questions. It was just a question. Wasn't no answers there. And William with Earth Lot, we still have yet to find out who is the prize winners. I mean, Heidi Klum was right there and she didn't know who it was. All she knew is that William had written a check and it had cleared. That's it. She didn't know anything about Earth Lot. Harry is the only one who has a results based agenda. Look at Invictus. Look at Travelers. Look at Cinebale. Look at the Halo Trust. Look at the Diana Awards. Now, William is part of the Diana Awards, and it does have results, because if it didn't show results, Harry would have no part of it. Windsors might be enjoying a quieter schedule for now, but the public is noticing. And if they don't step up soon, they might find themselves working hard to explain why they deserve to exist at all. I agree with that. That is crazy. I'm just saying. Meghan met with the Afghan women last week. And right after that, Kitty Cat announced that she was going to invite the children that was affected in Southport by that, incident that happened. And a lot of people are just calling her out and saying that's really, really insensitive. And this particular squatty put this up, and it says, after news this week came out that Meghan hosted Afghan refugee women for her Thanksgiving dinner, which by the way is something she's done for years now. Kensington Palace announced that Kate will invite the bereaved Southport families to her Christmas Carol concert, because that's all what family having their first Christmas without their children need. I know. To be surrounded by kids excited about Christmas and to look at Kate pretend perfect family who advise these people they keep making mistakes to keep up with the Sussexes. And where is the lie in that? Yeah. And it's just another photo opportunity. It's like the young girl who's suffering with the terminal cancer. Kate wants to put her face out front. It's about the photo op. And they have no qualms in using cancer, people who are suffering with cancer. And I often think about that young girl. I hope she is doing good. Someone who's suffering with cancer, or someone who has suffered such a great loss as these parents from Southport. She has no shame. Kitty Cat has no shame. All right, I'm gonna put this up. And it says, embarrassing, not the toxic media admitting to sitting around waiting for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Archewell Foundation tax returns, and not the US Treasury basically telling them to continue sitting the F down and stop being so nosy. And y'all all know that you remember that story came out, I guess it maybe 3 months ago, about saying it was about Harry and Meghan's charity, and saying they took in $4 million or something like that, and it disappeared. It didn't show up on their tax form, and it just was a salacious article that was a lie, because it wasn't even supposed to show up, or it didn't have to show up until this upcoming tax filing. And now the Daily Fail is sitting on Reddit trying to get their nose in on when Harry and Meghan and the Archewell Foundation is going to file that particular tax form. And it's just ridiculous. And this is what the Daily Mail said. It says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charity Archewell Foundation has surprisingly delayed release of their latest tax return online. Look how they be absolutely policing Harry and Meghan, their foundation. I just don't even understand, and had the nerve to write an article. What business is it of yours? Keep your nose over there. It says the charity raised eyebrows when Mail Online reported that 4 million had not been declared in Archwell's last tax return, like I was telling y'all earlier, which is called a 990 form, with a source close to the substances insisting that it would appear on the following year's filing. Why is it your business? And they are so eager for a story. They are writing a story about anticipating getting the form. Oh, only somebody from across the pond, some rag like the Daily Mail, would do some nonsense like that. It says, however, while the Mail understand that the charity filed the new 990 form to the IRS last week on November 15th, there is no sign of the tax return on Archwell's website. Well, maybe they're not going to release it because they know you sitting on ready to write a story about it. It is just ridiculous. They said instead, Mail Online understand that Archwell has promised it will be publicly released up to 3 weeks after the IRS deadline in the week starting with December the 2nd. Have written a article about anticipating tax returns, tax filings from Archewell. How low can you be? How desperate? How much dust can you choke down that Harry and Meghan is serving up to you? It's ridiculous. And they did that. It says Archewell website says that the charity is compliant with all deadlines and measures of charitable sectors, and operates with a complete transparency in a paragraph directly above the 2021 and 2022 tax returns. They even went to the U.S. Treasury to ask about it. This is how desperate these flying monkeys are to get something. They just want to get something on Harry and Meghan. Oh, I just cannot. I cannot. It says Treasury spokesman said, for privacy legal reasons, we cannot comment on individual taxpayer situations. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and Archewell was approached for comment. And you know they served you up dust that you deserve. I'm just saying. And that is crazy to me. They sit around brainstorming. I bet you it is just they have weekly meetings, maybe daily meetings, about how they can talk and somehow incorporate something about Harry and Meghan into stories all of the time. It is just ridiculous to me. It is ridiculous to me. I'm gonna put this up, and this squatty said this. It says, so they are waiting for Archewell financial reports to drop. Apparently, there is no site on their website. Lord, they went to ask the U.S. Treasury Department about their financial reports. I hope it drops on the 6th of December. It says, where's the Duchy of Cornwall's annual statement? Worry about that. Worry about the Duchy of Cornwall, the one that actually is taking money out of your pockets, and the one who is pretty much is slumlords. Worry about them, or the Duchy of Lancaster. Worry about that. Something that affects your life, Daily Mail. Why are you way over in Montecito? It is just crazy to me that we are still here after a half a decade. These people are just consistently stupid. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Let's see. I'm gonna put this up, and I'm not gonna talk very much about it. But this is about scamming. You all know that Scammy has been working with the Daily Mail, and they had that whole thing of she was talking about how Megan, she didn't think Megan would do that to the Queen, and they were kind of she was kind of I guess you could say conspiring. She was working with Richard Eden. He had this whole thing talking about he had did research, and this is what the Queen thought of Megan. And I went over that in my last podcast. We know what the Queen thought of Megan. Her actions showed us exactly what the Queen thought of Megan, and she really, really liked her. But Scammy was working with them about that. And then they wrote this on Scammy's birthday yesterday, and they aired Scammy out. They used her, then they aired her out. And I'm going to put this up, and it says, inside the lonely life of Meghan Markle's older sister, Scammy. I would never call her anything but Scammy. It says, as she turns 60 today, she will be celebrating in isolation due to her estrangement from both, capital letter, both of her daughters, as well as her long running feud with the Duchess, which led to a defamation battle. Now, that part is a lie. How can something be a feud when it's one sided? Megan pays Scammy no mind. And the defamation suit is about the fact that Megan says she don't know her. That is what Scammy is mad about, because Megan said, I grew up like an only child. It's like 18 years between me and Scammy. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't F with her that way. I don't know her. And she got mad because Megan simply said, I don't know her. And so they air her out. They talk to the daughters. They go back and get those old interviews where the daughter said how horrible she was, how she lost custody of all of them, how none of them talked to her. I mean, they aired Scammy out. They did this whole article. And they talk about the one that's close to Megan, and what each and every one said, even what Scammy's mama said about her in an interview, about saying that how she was abusive towards her own children, just aired her completely out. And all I can say is, I love that for her, because she will do anything for a dollar. She got her dollar, and they got their pound of flesh. Saying, all right, y'all, I'm gonna put up a picture of this. I love this little dummy's expression. And y'all can see why he looking sideways like we finna air these folks out. And I'm gonna put this up because that is like, that's the way I'm gonna put him over here. And I'm gonna put this over here. Because when I saw this right here, I started looking like him. And it says Richard put this up. Richard Palmer put this up and said, still fairly healthy ratings for a monarchy, but there's a slight dip in the popularity for several royals, including the king and queen. The prince and princess of Wales are the most popular. Harry is the only one slightly up, but he and Meghan remains unpopular. Why are you polling people who live 5,000 miles away, who are not senior royals anymore, who have stepped back from that? Why are you polling them? And it so out of 68.35 million people in the UK, the poll was conducted on 1,089 people, and you concluded that the monarch is in good standing? Are you people okay? If it's on good standing, would it be very interesting putting it to the test in a referendum? It and ask the whole nation to see what they would say, what the result would be. I'm gonna put this up, and this squatter said this MFer was in Cape Town for the Earshot Prize. We squatties are not. We refuse to call that project by its proper name. It's earshot, it's earthworm, it's earthflop, which is mine. I always call it earthflop, but we refuse to call it by its name. I love this one. Earshot. I love it. I love it. It says, when I tell you that William is dead to Harry, I mean it. And then this particular squatty reposted that and said this, and they wonder why Harry will never reconcile with William. Why would Harry want any closeness to William, who still sleeps with the enemy? You know, they talking about Jason now, saying William still sleeping with the enemy and enjoying pulled pork sandwiches. I cannot. It said the enemy he empowers and reward. Y'all see why I got this? Y'all see why I got him up there looking. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put up the clowns, call in the clowns. We got to call in the clowns. Charles is such a clown. And if you didn't know he was a clown, after that documentary, to see what he did to Harry, and it's so much more, because a lot of the squad is saying a lot of it was whitewashed. We know how bad it was, and we don't know the whole story. Only Harry knows the true story, because we all know Harry said he had to cut what, 400 pages out of spare. Harry knows that Charles is a clown, and also his brother William. William knows, well, Harry knows William is a clown, because they said before the Oprah interview he couldn't eat or sleep. Just think of the stuff, all the dirt he done did to Harry. He's a clown. Also, y'all, I'm gonna put up this because we all know if you mess with Harry and Meghan, the Sassy Squad will eat your face off. We will. Bye.